let's get to another name that's out there in Patrick Peterson. The Cardinals have come out, Steve Wilkes has come out and said he's not getting traded. Patrick Peterson has made it known he's requested a trade. He wants to be traded. I believe his brother-in-law has gone online and said, McFadden, who played in the NFL for a long time, has gone online and said that the Saints are his preferred destination. Source, Patrick Peterson. So we know kind of where he'd like to go. Now, the Saints don't have a first-round pick next year. They traded it in this past draft to get up there and get Marcus Davenport. But there's a bunch of teams I think would definitely be interested in Peterson. So I lobbed this one out on Twitter. If you're Arizona, you have to sell that you won the trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way you sell you won the trade is, we got 2 first-round picks. Think about Khalil Mack. The Raiders got 2 first-round picks. Now, the thing that I would advocate for is say, okay, you don't want to give up 2 first-round picks for a corner. I get that. You talk about quarterbacks, pass rushers. Those are the guys that demand the big-time compensation. But just hear me out here. I said a 2019 first-round pick, and this is only for a handful of teams. So I'm talking about teams that feel like they're one player away from winning the Super Bowl. 2019 and 2020 first-round picks, so 2 first-round picks. And then it would be a 4th-round pick in 2019 as well. So you're giving up 2 1s and a 4. You're getting Patrick Peterson back and next year's 2nd-round pick from the Cardinals, which, as it states right now, Buck, is probably going to be pick 33, 34, 35. Mm-hmm. So if you win the Super Bowl, you're picking 32. Arizona could have the first pick in the draft. They're picking you've really swapped one spot. So then the compensation, truly, when you look at it, is a 1 and a 4. So you have to ask yourself, would you give up a 1 and a 4 for Patrick Peterson? And my other point was, look, if you have a good GM, a creative GM, you know how easy it is when you're picking in the 2nd round to trade back 9, 10 spots. You have 4 or 5 guys that are still there that you love. You trade back 10 spots. You pick up a 4th-round pick like that. You can recover that 4th-round pick, no problem. Then you're basically trading. You're getting Patrick Peterson for a 1st-round pick. That's the way I kind of creatively look at it. It's a way the Cardinals can sell. They won the trade. They got 2 first-round picks. Rah, rah, rah. Everybody thinks that they won the trade. But I don't think that's that costly for a guy who is still, if not the best player at his position, one of the 3 best players at his position, has height, weight, speed, the size to match up with bigger guys. His character, leadership off the field, awesome. Everything you've ever heard about Patrick Peterson, off the charts.
It's been terrific.
If that's the finishing piece and you're like a team like Kansas City and that wins you a championship, he's that finishing piece just to ensure it. It's Super Bowl insurance is what I would call it there with Patrick Peterson. I think I'd do it. I
don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I think the big thing is, you're getting a player in his prime, you're getting a proven player, you're getting a player who has done it at the highest level, and you have to feel good about that part of it. It's just a matter of what you want to give up, and also who are you willing to outbid for it. I think when we talk about the Amari Cooper trade, people were going crazy because it's a 1st-round pick, but if it's on record and they reported that maybe the Philadelphia Eagles and some other teams that offer a 2 for him, you have to kind of win the deal if you want to get it. So you got to be able to you have to be willing to pay the price, and you can't be afraid. You can't just hoard all the picks, because at some points those picks have to become players. I know what I'm getting in Patrick Peterson. I'll take the player over the pick because I know exactly what I'm getting on the field.
Yeah, and people say, he's 28 years old. He is still playing at an elite level. And
I think if you look at this, like
he's a physical – he's one of the most physically talented kids to ever come into the league.
Worst case scenario, okay, so he's 27, 28 years old. So let's just say he stays until he's 31 in terms of staying kind of in his prime. Well, that's 3 years. Like, that's kind of what we expect. That's what we expect, the lifespan of an NFL player. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm willing to take that chance that he's going to play well 28, 29, 30, and maybe 31 he begins to show signs of tailing off. Oh, well, I'm good with that.
Hey, Buck, and by the way, having seen what Rod Woodson did in his career, you try and tell me that at 31, 32, worst case scenario, Patrick Peterson isn't a Pro Bowl safety? He can cross-train back there easy. That was one of the questions when he was coming out. Is he a corner? Is he a safety? A lot of people had him as a safety on their draft board.
Yeah, because I'm be honest with you. Like, he has played much better at corner than I ever imagined. I thought he was a great athlete at LSU. I thought he was a terrific punt returner. I wasn't as high on him as some when it came to, like, playing corner, because I feel like he has some flaws in his game when it came to kind of being a little handsy and those things. Terrific athlete. I do believe he does have the football IQ to move back to safety and be a big-time player. We've seen guys, Rob Woodson, Charles Woodson, guys who understand the game, be able to make that move and continue to make plays in the middle of the field. I absolutely believe he could transition to be a solid free safety as he gets older and older in his career.
And I don't think there would be any adjustment period. People come over there, okay, you're going to a new team. How do you fit in? How do you adjust? He can play any coverage. He can play press. He can play off. He'll learn what you want to do with him in 2 seconds. It would be an immediate, fill in and just rock and roll with Patrick Peterson. Upgrade the position there. So, Matt, I know I get it. There's a lot of really, really smart football people that will tell you, Khalil Mack is a pass rusher. I get it. You can overpay for pass rushers. You can overpay for quarterbacks. They'd be reluctant to overpay for a corner. I think this is just a little bit different. I think this is a unique situation.
I do believe it's a unique situation. I believe you have to go for it. And I believe if you're one of those teams that understands the need that you have and you're looking for a playmaker, a difference maker, I think Pat Peterson is only a handful of guys that are out there available that can make it happen at corner. I believe you have to go all out to make it happen.